All right, everyone. I need to come clean about something. Everybody has some degree of imposter syndrome. Every expert, every coach, some guy fancies himself as a great software developer or something like that. And he's trying to make this easy script. He just can't get it, even though he's done all these amazing things with his coding before. He's just writing the script. He just can't get it right. And, he feels like an imposter. And everybody, maybe wants to take back something they said that maybe wasn't accurate, maybe wasn't fully true, maybe even a little bit deceitful. I mean, even newspapers, they print retractions every once in a while, right? They'll say, they'll print this article, so and so, Tiger Woods, I don't know, had an affair and was cheating on his wife. And they'll be like, oh, wait, actually, he wasn't. We got false information. Our source was wrong. And the newspaper will print a retraction. So here's me officially printing or speaking a retraction about something. And I'm mad enough to admit this, okay? I'm mad enough to admit my faults. But I want to give a little bit of a preamble here. You guys watching at home, you don't know what good dating even looks like, okay? You guys don't even know what dating looks like, okay? I know everybody in my comments thinks that they're a 6'5" millionaire. That's what everybody, well, I'm a 6'5" Chad, and you just can't get girls because your eyes are too close together and you're ugly. Okay, but for the rest of us, for us normal folk, you maybe see a beautiful girl in your city in Ohio, or maybe even you're a passport. You see that beautiful girl in Medellin, Rio, whatever it is, right? And you're going up to her, and let's say, you're an above average guy. You hit the gym, you're not fat, you've got, some decent muscle tone, you're at least 5'10", 5'11", you make at least 90 to 100 grand a year. You're by all standards like a well put together guy, and you have the balls to cold approach a woman confidently without pissing your fucking panties and actually talk to her and create a romantic moment between the two of you right there on the spot, face to face, like a fucking man in person, okay? Something that only one in probably 10,000 guys has the fucking balls to do. It should go well, but for the most part, it doesn't. Let me repeat that. It should go well. If you guys actually knew what a favorable dating market looked like, where the women weren't entitled, where the women weren't masculine, where the women weren't rude, where there wasn't a dominant pay for play culture, you would realize that above average guy walks up to a pretty girl doing cold approach. It should work. Like, now, listen, maybe she's taken, maybe not her physical type. Just because you hit the gym, make a little bit of money, and can do a confident approach doesn't mean that every woman's supposed to drop her panties for you. But like, for the most part, like, it should go well. Yet you guys at home, like, if you see a dime walking down the street in Miami and you go talk to her, it's not going to end with a face-to-face date that then later ends successfully. So back to my, imposter syndrome and stuff like that. I was a bit naive. I didn't even know what good dating looked like till I went to certain dating markets. By the way, I can't say the names of these cities. It's just too dangerous for me. People get offended. You can end up in the news. I've had my social medias banned for like talking about a country, even in a way that I perceived as like being complimentary. So, the women are, very beautiful, and they like it when the man takes the lead and very docile. And they'll like interpret me calling the women from a certain city docile. They'll change that to he's saying they're submissive, dumb sex slaves, and they'll like, get my social media banned over it or something like that. So for protection, I'm not saying the cities anymore. But there's certain cities where I went up to girls and it was like 1 in 3, 1 in 4 that I would talk to, keeping in mind I only approach girls that are 7.5 to an 8 out of 10 and above. And it would almost like, again, guaranteed go well. I've been out with my friends where they see me like in day game, pick up beauty pageant winners, get their Instagram in the mall, a random day game approach, take them out for a fucking cheeseburger the next night, and then take them home and have a successful evening with them right then and there. Done. You guys, this video is inspired by my buddy Nick Varga. I'll put some videos, or sorry, some photos, some before and after photos of Nick Varga on the screen right now. I did a photo shoot with him. Great results. He was in the United States, actually recognized me from Fresh and Fit. He saw me at the gym at a little suburb town, which I won't say the name of, but a little suburb of Los Angeles. He later became, a client of mine, did a photo shoot, and he went from Los Angeles or, whatever, Southern California to Buenos Aires, one shitty dating market to another. And then now he just hit me up saying, oh, I want to try Sao Paulo, Brazil. And I'm like, Nick, you don't even know what good dating looks like, bro. You don't even know what it's like to be in an area where dating is actually favorable. So back to my whole attraction, I used to talk about Sao Paulo being a good dating market. In my defense, I came here in 2022. It was probably actually like still somewhat decently okay in 2022 when I got here. but it then quickly deteriorated. I think I partially had like, rose-colored glasses. Look, I was just happy to be out of Medellin. I was just happy to be out of Medellin where there was this racism and xenophobia and you were second-class citizen being a gringo. And I think the pay-for-play culture since 2022 to now 2025 has already changed a lot in my defense, but I was wrong. I have been humbled. Sao Paulo is not a good dating market. It is 80 to 90% of the beautiful women here are prostitutes. Not to pick on Brazil. Miami's worse. Brazil, you're fine. No offense to the people of Brazil. Miami, my country, my home country is worse. Miami has the most vile, disgusting, prostitute, gold diggery women, a million times worse than any city in Brazil. So I'm not trying to pick on Brazil. I'm just saying that I was wrong. At one point, I recommended Sao Paulo, Brazil. I no longer recommend it. The more you learn about a subject, the more humility you have for not understanding that subject. So, like, Stephen Hawking, I think Stephen Hawking died, right? But if Stephen Hawking or Albert Einstein were alive, they would say, yeah, we're pretty good at physics. I think we have a pretty good grasp, but, to be honest, there's just so much we don't understand. Like, humbly speaking, we're totally confused. We actually, the quantum world, I take it back. We pretty much know nothing about physics. Yet the little snot-nosed 8th grader who got an A on his test in his honors chemistry class thinks he's a fucking pro at chemistry because he got an A on his test and he's in 8th grade. That's how I was until I traveled the world, until I went to 40, 50, 60 cities in Latin America and around the world. I didn't know what a dating market was where like women approach men. I don't know what a dating market was where the women, like, you have a 1/3 to 1/4 chance of closing any girl you talk to as long as you're, a guy that's, I got a decent SMV and you approach confidently and you take care of yourself and you're not fat and you have good hygiene and stuff like that. I admit. And from now on, I'm going to be a lot more careful on dating markets in cities that I recommend to you. I also got to be careful. I can sometimes name countries and stuff like that, but whether they're my private communities and just things I say about dating. I thought I was an expert, coming up in the real social dynamics days. RSD Owen, we'll put a photo of him, Tyler Durden, RSD Tyler, Todd V dating, all these guys living in Vegas, Miami, Los Angeles, then going to Medellin. I thought I was an expert. I thought I had seen it all, but I was wrong. I have been humbled. And I want to share that with you guys. You guys don't even know what good dating is supposed to look like. Visit 15 to 30 cities across the world, smaller cities, never the capitals of the country, never the big cities, never the ones you hear mentioned on TikTok or Instagram. Go to the cities where there's not a whole bunch of rich guys to be sugar daddies so that all the hot girls are spoiled fucking brats in these cities. Go to the smaller towns where it's not just like wealth, sugar baby, sugar daddy, wealth, sugar baby, make it rain. Go to those other cities, and then you poor schmucks will actually know what good dating is actually supposed to look like. Subscribe for more, boys. Cheers.